Hello, I am Rayla Bailey of Bailey Executive Coaching, and I'm so excited to share with all of you why I absolutely love Dubsado and could not do without it in my business. So first, you'll see that I have my dashboard here on my screen. But before I get into that, I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll walk you through what I see on the back end and then how you can provide an elevated experience for your clients. So, what I do is I am an executive coach for corporate professionals. So what I do is I help people who are trying to figure out their next steps in corporate, and I help them figure out what is it exactly that you want to do. Everyone's climbing the corporate ladder, but where are you climbing to? What does that even mean for you? So I help people define that and come up with a strategic plan to reach their goals. I also help people navigate those unspoken things, if you will, in the workplace that nobody teaches you. It's not a class in college. How to navigate relationships, how to have a sponsor, a mentor, network within your organization, move up, move over, negotiate your salary, make sure you bring your full self to work, that you're authentic, and that overall you don't burn out, that you're chasing joy, and that you're happy with what you're doing. And if you're not, let's figure out how to get you there. And then I'm also a people and culture consultant for small business owners. And what that looks like is usually people want to jump to the marketing and the fluffy, really fun things. I do too. And I have to stop myself some of the time as well. But what I do is I say, all right, we can get into the marketing message. That's really great, but you're not there yet. What are your values, your beliefs, your mission, and what are your goals? So I help people define those and develop their strategy for those. And I also help people develop their corporate activism initiatives. Everyone is hiring a diversity, equity, and inclusion person in their organization. And so for small businesses, that may look a little bit different. What does that mean? What does that look like within your organization in terms of who you work with, who you hire, how you hire? What does your culture look like? What do you put out into your community? So I help people with that, amongst other things. But those are the main things for consultants, as far as being a people and culture consultant. And that's what I do for corporate professionals as an executive coach. And I absolutely have found my calling and love what I do. I could not do it as effectively and efficiently as I can as a solopreneur and freelancer, if you will, without Dubsado. It has been a saving grace for sure. So I'm going to show you what I do a lot of the times is show people that their systems need to be automated. So if I'm working with that small business person, and even with just a corporate professional, use Acuity. Don't go back and forth, scheduling on your calendar. Use something that can help you schedule all those meetings, and even, time with family and friends could be an elevated experience for your inner circle and for yourself in terms of just like letting some of that administrative stuff go. So one of the things that I help small business owners with, someone like you perhaps, is getting your systems and automation in place. So Dubsado to me is my CRM system, but it's also my VA. They always say hire before you're ready. I don't know about that. I say just like work in Dubsado a little bit and see if you need more help. So for me, it's my personal VA. Prior to Dubsado, I sent a lot of emails, sending contracts and invoices and scheduling and trying to show an elevated experience to my clients, but charging top dollar. It wasn't aligned. And then post having Dubsado and having it right now, it really provides for an elevated client experience. Everything is streamlined, automated, and I can get leads while I'm sleeping. And I'm going to show you all about that. So I'm going to walk you through my client's journey from start to finish. And how I'm going to do that is by showing you what I see on the Dubsado side, as well as I have emails, actual test emails from when I tested the system myself for you to see what my client would get. So jot that down. I absolutely would say to test everything before you start sending it to clients. And if you have any problems or need any help whatsoever as you're setting your system up in Dubsado, their customer service is top notch. It's the best. I am singing their praises all over the place. So it's not because of this webinar. I mean, I genuinely use the service and have for years. And their customer service is incredibly helpful, and they'll go in and do something for you very quickly or show you how to do it, and they'll set up a lot of stuff. So I think that's one of the price point is definitely, they could charge more, but don't tell them I said that, for all the service that you get with them. So what you see right here is when I log in the morning, this is a test account, because as a coach, my clients and I signed a contract and all of their information is confidential. I wouldn't want even a name to pop up for just, those reasons, to make everything secure. So I had them set up this test account so I can show you what it looks like on my end. So it's going to be a little bit different, but it's mostly the same in terms of like big picture. So I might come in here and see what I'm doing for the month. The dashboard is customizable. I might see my tasks that I need to do for the day. This is automated. And this really helps you track your finances and helps you stay on goal. And then in here, you'll see all of your projects. So for me, this section right here is built out a bit more. And so you can customize that as well. So it helps you figure out what is it that you want to track. So I track my leads, my cold leads, anyone that I have a proposal out to, anyone that sent one back but hasn't paid. Every phase of my client journey can be tracked in here. So I know exactly who needs to be followed up with, who, is just sitting out there and probably isn't going to, purchase or move forward with their coaching experience, etc. So I love this because I don't have to track anything on paper or remember. I'm definitely one of those people that has a bunch of notebooks around to write notes in. And so this helps me avoid that because, these are paying clients or prospective paying clients. And so I want to make sure I'm keeping track. And then as far as reporting, I don't use the reporting as much, but I am in a lot of Facebook groups where people talk about the systems that they use. And I know that especially for photographers, for example, a lot of them use there's QuickBooks and other reporting to help. So if you're, more artistic minded, maybe this is a great system to use. So I'm just going to go through some of the features first, and then I'll dig into the nitty gritty of exactly how I use it. And so this is the calendar. Here we go. So this is the calendar, and it syncs with all the calendars I needed to sync with. Mine is with Google and Outlook. So anything that I add to my Google calendar, like if I say I have this block of time right now that I'm recording this video blocked out, I can just add it in here, and it will not allow people to schedule time on my calendar during that time. So it is an awesome service. The scheduler is a huge recent feature that I think everyone is probably loving right now. And then the task, I love the task because depending on how many clients you have and how many different, things that you have to do for each client, this could be great. Some people have a very easy client journey and easy process, and some people have a lot. So regardless, this allows you to track, where you are. If you need to send an email, send an invoice, or send a follow-up, or anything that you want to do manually, you can put a task in here for yourself. So for example, as a coach, I will send a follow-up email after my client sessions to kind of go over what we discussed and maybe remind them of action items. Or I might send a midweek email of encouragement or something like that. So I put a task in here that automatically comes up when I tell it to. So it might be 24 hours or 3 days after that client session. And it'll say, send follow-up email, and then I can click on it and just do it. I don't have to remember to do that. So that's awesome. And then here are the utilities over here to the left. I don't use these as much, but somebody else might use maybe the time tracker if you are working on an hourly rate, so you can track how much time you're invoicing your clients. And so the scheduler is how you really sync your calendar up. So for me, I have an Ask Me Anything session that's right here. That's for clients that have already gone through my program. And then they're able to schedule one-off sessions after they've gone through my 10-session, 5-month coaching program. Then they can book a la carte sessions at an hourly rate. And then I'll have 1 session, 2 session, 3, all the way down through 10. And then what that does is setting up all the sessions that you need. Dubsado will pull through in your workflow, which we'll get to, those different sessions that need to be scheduled. So what my system does is we'll send clients sessions 1 through 4 at a time to schedule. And then it knows after a certain amount of time that I tell it, it will send sessions, 5 through 10 for them to book out, because my calendar is not up to date 10 sessions or 5 months out. It's awesome. And then I even add in here an introduction session. And that's for discovery calls, or what I call an introduction call for 15 minutes. So I'll show you that on my website as well, so that you can see all the way what it looks like. And then forms, this is where you're going to keep where I keep my contract. My clients all have a contract, whether it's consulting or speaking engagement or one-on-one coaching. It is just the ethics of coaching to have a client contract. So I always send that. And sub-agreement. So this is cool, right? So in a sub-agreement, I might not want to, if somebody's going to re-up, I've done 10 sessions with them. It was awesome. They're like, this is amazing. I want 10 more sessions. Then I don't need them necessarily to sign a whole contract again. I can do like a mini contract or a mini version or a different contract altogether and add it as a subcontract to send them. Like, I believe mine says something along the lines of, you agreed to the same terms that you agreed to 10 sessions ago, sign here. It's just like a quick check-in reminding you of the cancellation, etc. So that's great. You can put anything you want in there. And then I love the questionnaire. I will show you that is my lead capture. No, it's not. Or is it? My questionnaire is different, from my lead capture. But my questionnaire is something that I send folks after they have signed up before we get started. And then the proposal, I love. The proposal is one of those things, and I'll click on the sample. Mine is decked out, and you'll see it. It is such an elevated experience. Instead of just being like, hey, are you ready to sign up? Like they may get from a lot of other coaches. Mine is like a very professional, here are your options, what we discussed. It's branded. It's awesome. So I love the proposal. And then you can do that for a lot of different things. I also do that for consulting clients. If I were to pitch a client, it looks really elevated, as well as if I'm just working with someone that I know and they want me to come into their organization. They're not expecting me to put together like a branded, awesome proposal to send to them. They're thinking I'm going to whip something up in an email. So when I say, okay, I'll follow up with you with a quick proposal, and then I send them a badass branded proposal from Dubsado, and everything after that's automated. And then it's a link to my scheduler to make time for both of us so that we don't have to go back and forth. That really shows people like this person has their shit together, and it's going to be a really great experience working with them. And they are probably worth the money that's in that proposal, because I'm not cheap to work with. And then the lead capture, I love. This is information that I collect before I even get on the phone with someone, before that 15-minute introductory call. So we're not just starting from scratch, because you can spend 15 minutes just saying like, what are you looking for, etc. And I want to make sure that I make the most of my time in theirs. So the lead capture, I'll show you that as well. and then canned emails. So there's so many different options in here. I probably have triple these canned emails. And so what a canned email is, it's a canned response. So it's an automated email. This is automation like on another level. I absolutely love it. So I have a ton of emails in here, and I'll show you when I go into my own email that I'm going to show you. I'm getting real personal in here and showing you all my email and everything. But you'll be able to see how you set this up once. Emails that you would normally send out like, hey, it was nice to talk to you, any type of follow-up, schedule here. I'll show you how it even sends an automated email prior to that session. So they're prepped for the session. Maybe they've never used Zoom before, which is how I talk to my clients and prospective clients, is virtually. So I can meet with anybody all over the world. And so that is a really awesome feature, canned emails. And you can switch these up, change them at any moment. And I'll click on one just so you can see. So you can change the title, the subject, and then this is like pulling in where they would have entered their address or information. So I give Dubsado kudos for all the ways that they pull information in. It's awesome. Okay, and so packages. So I have a few packages. These are just samples, but this would be, for example, let's see. Okay. This would be an example of a package. So I might say package 1 is 10 sessions where you pay in full. Package 2 may be 10 sessions where you pay monthly. And that's what I do. I just have one offering and 2 ways to pay. I keep it very simple. It's not complicated. 10 sessions, 5 months, 2 ways to pay. And so I put those in here, and then my proposal will pull those options in so they can pick when they click on my proposal which way they want to pay, which I'll show you. So smart. I love Dubsado. Okay. The workflow. So I have a few different workflows that I use for my business, and it depends on what the person is going to do. So I won't go into setting this up because I'm sure, like, my first thought is just explain setting this up, but Dubsado has incredible training on setting up workflows. So trust the experts, and you should not be listening to me about how to set that up in the first place because I definitely needed help with that. So workflows mean basically like, what is your step-by-step? So my workflow, for example, is someone finds me online or is referred to me, but they get to my website, they schedule an introduction call. Them scheduling the call is like step 1. So they're on the calendar and it puts it on my calendar. Then it might send them follow-up emails. And so that would be a step in my workflow, is to send a follow-up email that their session or their whatever they schedule on the calendar is confirmed. Then they might get another follow-up email and then giving them instructions for Zoom. Then they may get, the link for Zoom. Then we have our call. Then in the workflow, this is all automated. I'm not doing anything. I'm like sleeping, watching TV, doing anything else. All these emails are going out on their own. So when I say workflow, just think automation. So then after we have our session, it will send them the proposal on the call. I let them know that the next step is it's going to be the ball's put in their court and they can sign up at their leisure. And then if they don't sign up, then it's going to send them a follow-up email after 3 days, like, hey, haven't heard from you. How's everything going? Let me know what you're thinking, yada, yada, yada. All of that is part of my workflow, and it's awesome. So if they sign up, the system knows to not send them an email to follow up. And then I have another workflow that's like, if they didn't, that diagram, it's like, they did this, yes, go here. They did that, no, then do these things. That's what this workflow does, and it's awesome. And then payment schedules is something that I use. It depends on what your service is, but as a coach, how I use it is you have a payment that you do one time, you pay in full, it's done, you get a discount for doing that, or you pay monthly and it knows to send you a monthly invoice. And before you can schedule sessions, you have to pay your invoice. Mine is like pay to play. So when you pay, you are confirming your time on my calendar and on your own calendar as well. It's a bit of accountability, a bit of psychology there. So I use payment schedules as well. So that's a big picture overview of Dubsado on my end and what that looks like and how I use it. And so I'll take you through my client experience on the client side. So I'll take you to my website. And when someone goes to my website, there's many places to schedule a call, book a call. Everywhere there's book a call, book a call. That's the call to action. So if someone clicks on to meet me and book a call, they are going to come to this. This is the Dubsado Scheduler. This is what it looks like embedded on someone's website. So this is what it looks like on my website. This is my availability. You'll notice, time that I might have off for a holiday or anything like that. And then they can book out as far as my calendar will let them book out. And you can determine what that time is, which is so great. So you really have control. It really empowers you to take control. So this is the lead capture form, which is optional. You don't have to have this, but I do because I want that first contact and bit of action on the client's end. So when they find me, I want someone to really know that they want to work with me or know that they want to work with a coach. And so I have questions like, how did you hear about me? What service are you interested in? And then you can really customize this to be literally whatever you want. This is my branding. This is the font that I use on my site, the color. These are my brand colors. And then, I even have something on here like, did you read the website and do you know how much it cost? Did you pay attention to the pricing structure? If you're interested in speaking, did you go to the speaking page? What kind of coaching are you looking for? Have you worked with a coach before? Have you worked with a coach before is significant. That lets me know how much education I need to give them around what the service is and what they are going to get out of it. Someone that's worked with a coach before may or may not know that, depending on what type of coaching they've had before. So all these questions help me really dive into that 15 minutes. And trust me, I played around with the timing of intro calls, and 15 minutes is the perfect amount of time because I have all this information. Why is now the right time to get support? It really makes someone kind of look within and ask these questions before we get on the phone versus like, I don't know, when we get on the phone. And then are you averse to change or not? What are the goals that you seek for your business or career? Some of your biggest challenges. Maybe I need to do some due diligence before I get on the call with them. And then just tell me about yourself. And then maybe I can follow up with whatever they notated about themselves. And that helps me see if we're a really good fit for each other. I want to make sure that I work with people who I can help, who I can serve in the best way. And I want to make sure that I uphold coaching ethics. So if I can't help them, then I might already be able to tell on here, like, that's not what I do. And so hopefully my website is, copy is very clear, but in the chance that it's not, I might need to refer them to someone else. So we might talk about that. So it just really helps to guide that first 15-minute call and saves everybody a lot of time and provides for a lot of clarity. So I'm a big fan of the lead capture form. So once that person has scheduled a session, filled out the form, they are going to get an email. They're going to get an email, or I'm going to get an email. So they're going to fill this out. And this is what I received, but this just says like testing. This is a test. So I have a folder of just all the things that I tested before this went live. And so this is what I receive on my end, and I can view my lead in Dubsado. So what that person gets is that their call has been confirmed. Here's the Zoom link and all the information. I have my information changed each time for security. And then I get an email with the link information that the appointment has been scheduled. And I use Zoom. So they're going to get a reminder about our call coming up. Like, I love this kind of stuff because it's something that someone's not expecting. And this really is an elevated client experience. So I'm thinking of someone like, maybe my mom, so I was going to throw my mom or this, but maybe my mom is like, I want to, work with a coach or something. And then, she's not as familiar with Zoom. So she really needs somebody to walk her through, right? And instead of me hopping on the phone, this is like step by step how you log into Zoom. Okay. And then once we have our call, this is an automated email that goes out that says, thanks so much for your time. And then it's going to send them a link to the proposal that I already told them was coming. And this can say whatever you want to say. But again, notice, one I'll actually point out. So this signature is not, you'll notice that this is kind of messed up. That's something that came up during testing, right? So you want to make sure that you test it. So this is a link to my proposal. These are my branded colors. It just looks very polished and professional. My email is synced so that it comes from Rayla Bailey. And so there's no confusion. It doesn't look like, this is how it comes up in your email. It's very professional. It's not like Dubsado anything. So it's all branded and custom, which is awesome. So this is a look into my proposal. So this is a custom proposal that I have put together. So I'll just take you back so you can kind of follow along a little bit. I hope that's helpful. So in the forms, again, the lead capture. This is what the person would have seen. Mine is built out more. They would have scheduled. And then the proposal would be here. So my built out proposal looks like this. So this is a program. This is what you get, yada, yada, yada. These are the next steps. And again, I was talking about you can either pay in full or you can pay in 5 payments. And then they just pick, click, and then go. Easy peasy. We've already talked. They know they want to work with me. They're free to ask me more questions. But they get this really beautiful proposal that matches my website. It looks awesome. And then once they have completed the proposal, they get it back. And so they can see what they signed up for. Then this is really, really cool. So I use the client portal, and I love the client portal because it makes someone feel, and I've gotten so many compliments about the client portal. It makes your client feel like they're getting their money's worth, like all these emails and automated things and branded things. It's showing them like, I care, you're going to have my attention. I'm here. Like, you can ask me anything. It's going to be a high touch coaching experience. It's not just like, okay, email me when you've made a decision and then, Venmo me or, send me a PayPal payment or whatever. It's very professional and organized and feels very safe and secure. Their personal information and data and credit card information is going in there. And so I just love it. I love all of it. I love the client portal especially, and mine is branded for my clients. And so they can go into their portal and see the proposal that they signed. So this email is going to set up a task for me. So this email is a Dubsado reminder, and your tasks are going to send you reminders like this. So it's telling you, Rayla, set portal password as their email. Okay. And so that's what I do. And so I would go in and do that, which is awesome. And then for my client, after they have done the proposal, they then get the contract and the invoice in a separate email. Thank you so much for booking a slot. This is a big decision. You can have this say whatever. This is a canned email. You can have it say whatever you want, and you can add buttons and all kinds of things into the email. So I have where they would click on the contract, and then where they would click on their invoice. And I hadn't clicked on this, but so this is like a coaching agreement that they would get. And then the invoice would show This is what an invoice would look like. And so this would be, I believe, a monthly, someone that signed up to do monthly, 2 sessions a month, 5 months, paid monthly. And so it would show them, this is just a test for testing, remember? So this would show them what they paid and what is due. And so it's all like organized here in an official looking invoice, and they can keep track of it. And it's something that's in their client. This takes them back to their client portal. So they never have to like email you and go, where am I? Do I owe you? Did I pay you? They can't find it, all the things. And then once they've signed their contract, it sends them a PDF of the contract. And I believe I have access to it as well. But the client has a copy of what they've signed. And it lets me know that that person has signed the contract. This is a confirmation for them that they paid part of the invoice. And so it's just letting them know, like, you're doing a great job. Like and coaching is one of those things too, that it's always encouraging. It's always encouraging people along the way, right? So this allows them to see a bit of what my process is going to be like. There's emails that are emailing you to hold you accountable. There's reminders to hold you accountable. And then there's also, just like, great job, like, keep going. That is a bit of psychology too, that is just already, already working in Dubsado already, to encourage people to keep going. Like, you did the proposal. Awesome. Thank you so much. Keep going. Okay. You signed the contract. Awesome. Keep going. Now pay the invoice. I'll schedule the sessions. So I really love that. So this is another automated email that goes out that shows people their client portal. So this is a client portal guide that you can set up in Dubsado as well as a form. So I'll go back. So when I send clients your first session, I let them know about their client portal, how to set it up. I let them know there's stuff coming. I don't mind showing all this. I give them an assignment to do. And then they're going to go to their client portal, and it's all custom. It's like, this is what the client portal is, right? Because it can be a little bit overwhelming to get this stuff in. And so it's like, cool, I have the portal. What does that mean? People are skimming. So usually someone's paid a lot of money and they want to utilize all the benefits of it. So they go, okay, the client portal. Okay, that's where I go, oh, okay. And then they're like, oh. And this is from feedback from clients. They're like, this is amazing. And so it shows them what the client portal looks like, and this is how it's customized in there. This is pulled from the branding from my website, my branded photos, logo. I believe this is animated, so it moves. It's an explanation of their sessions, how they can book appointments, their emails, and what it's going to look like, how they can access all their emails. And that's another thing that I love, is that this is a one-stop shop for everything for their sessions. So this is where emails are going to be as well. So they don't have to always go and try to find that email from their coach. They can log into their client portal. And so on the coach side, because my email is synced, all those emails are going to go into that client's project in Dubsado. So I can keep track as well. I don't have to look through my own email. It's just the best thing for organization. So another thing, so I'll show you some more canned emails that I send. When they send a payment, it continues to follow up. It gives them the invoice to pay, payment reminders, payment confirmation. This is a reminder. Hey, how's it going? Just remember, you have to pay your invoice. Once you pay your invoice, you'll get an email to book sessions. And then after a while, after we've been working together for a while, I ask for a testimonial. And this is awesome because I don't think asking for testimonials is awkward. I usually tend to get a testimonial organically, right? But you want to be able to capture it in person, with giving the person time to think about what they want to say and feedback, and maybe even have question prompts without it being this awkward kind of ask on the spot. So one of the things that I send them later is a request for a testimonial. And so I asked them like, hey, this is a canned email that's automated that knows after X amount of sessions to send them a canned email asking for a testimonial. I mean, how awesome. So then they go in, and this is a form in Dubsado that asks them for a testimonial. And then I need to get, permission to use their words and their photo. And it's just, again, thank you. Again, it's just such a branded, elevated client experience that I think is so important. A reminder to schedule next sessions, and then it's a link to the scheduler that will take them to the Dubsado Scheduler. And those are more test emails. This is after we've worked together. So again, everything is timed in that workflow. I can say a month after we've worked together. It's not like that's it, bye. It's like, what's going on after that? Like, do you want more sessions? Do you want to refer me? Like, what's going on? So I send them another follow-up email. How are things going? Like, that's when you get the real feedback, right? So I just love this. So that is my client journey. And I will go back into here. That is my client journey from my end, showing you what I see in Dubsado, the emails that they will get, why it's important and how effective it is. It's really effective. And all that is happening without me doing anything. You set it up once, and then you apply that workflow to every single project, or apply the appropriate workflow to the appropriate project. And once a lead comes in, Dubsado starts working for you right away. It's worth every penny. So let's see if I've covered everything. That's how a lead contacts me. That's how I nurture a lead. And that's what the lead project looks like on my end. Workflows and the lead form. I just have a little list over here to make sure I cover everything for you guys. The workflow is very, invoices, payments, form sent, contract sent, and that's how I communicate with my clients. I also will send them one-off emails, but it's usually prompted by this task that tells me a week out to follow up with someone. But I can add a note in their project, but I usually write that's something I might do handwritten, but there is a place to do a note in Dubsado to follow up and say, I know you had a job interview. How did it go? That stuff really makes a difference, to ask them, to set a reminder on your calendar, or create a task in Dubsado for a certain day for it to come up, so you can ask them on the day of. Or these are things that I do naturally for friends, right? So I definitely do it for my paying clients. But, wishing you the best of luck. Don't forget these 3 things, and, your vision and your goals and what you're working on. You're a badass. You got this, and then it's nice to wake up and read that the morning of your interview, and then to get a follow-up. Like, I hope you're celebrating that you gave it your all and you're prepared, and whatever, happens, etc. Let's keep going, but make sure you celebrate. Sending that follow-up email, that stuff means a lot to people. And it's not even that it means a lot. I think it's just a nice thing to do. But it really does make a significant difference. And Dubsado supports me. It's my VA and reminder and my system to help me remember those touch points that are so crucial in the experience I want to make sure that I provide to my clients. I want everyone to feel like they have a hype person, a hype woman in their corner, basically around the clock, and Dubsado helps me do that. So you saw that I use the client portal, and that is basically it in a nutshell. If I had to add anything else, I would say that when you are using Dubsado, they have a Facebook group that is really, really helpful. There are a lot of very experienced people. The team that works there is in there, but then you have people that have just been using it for various reasons. And I'll get a tip in there from somebody that's way outside the scope of what I do, maybe a photographer, or a web designer or something else. And they give a great tip on how they set up their systems or something that came up for them. And there's always a workaround or some way to troubleshoot something. So that community is a wonderful resource. I've made friends out of that community, and it's just cool to see what people are working on. There's a lot of positive energy in there. So I think that's a significant value add. That as a resource, as well as their help, is awesome. Their chat, I mean, sometimes it's like embarrassing to just feel like you're overusing the chat, right? But those people are there, and it's like, well, if I'm doing that, thinking about the thousands of people that are using the chat, and how do they even keep track of it all, and support in the way that they do. And so anyways, I just think their customer service is top notch. And then another thing that I'll add, while I think that it's really not so hard to set all this stuff up, it can feel, it's like easy for the most part, but it can feel like a lot to do to set up. But I just want to encourage you. I used Dubsado for 2 to 3 years before I utilized it in every sense. I used it mostly to send invoices and contracts, but I was not using it for the scheduler. I don't know that they even had the scheduler at that time. Wasn't using it for emails, and I wasn't using it for tasks and just an everyday system to keep me organized. I didn't have all my forms in there. I didn't have the proposals in there and things like that. It was very basic level. And then I just decided, if I'm going to spend money on this, and trust me, it's money well spent, I want to use every inch of this service. And so it's been in the last year that I got this all built out. And hire someone if you need to do that. There are a lot of great resources in that Facebook group of people. That's what they do for work, as they set Dubsado up. They make it beautiful so that you can coach, or you can do whatever, whatever it is that is a calling that's on your heart. That may not be setting up workflows, or maybe you don't have time to do that. But I just encourage you to set it up, because it has been the game changer in my business this past year, to really, in the compliments from clients and just having it be seamless, cutting that intro call down to 15 minutes, having the questions in there, and the lead capture form, all those follow-ups down to there should be no questions by the time they get on that Zoom call, to all the follow-up emails. Everything is beautiful, branded, seamless, automated. Then I can I know that it's working, and I can just show up as a coach and do what I do best, which is changing lives, helping corporate professionals get clear on their next steps with a plan, and helping small business owners really make sure they are valuing their people and setting up a culture that they're proud of. And so that's my passion work. And so Dubsado allows me to do that to the best of my ability. It is such an honor to tell you about this program and this system, and why I love it and how I use it every single day. And so thanks for listening to me. If you're still listening, and reach out to me if I can talk to you about Dubsado or about coaching or any other way that I can be helpful. My website is raylabailey.com. And I had it here for you, but I'll pull it up. My website's raylabailey.com. I would love to hear from you and let me know how I can be of service. But I hope to see you in the Dubsado Facebook group. Say hi. Thank you so much.